The recording. Perfect. Thank you all. Good afternoon. This is Prasad here. And the chapter which I'm going to walk through is the chapter 31. The page number starting from 299 to 306. So before we could kick off, if I could ask you all about the SWAT, anyone has some kind of a brief knowledge what exactly stands for SWAT? Any kind of a high level?
SWOT analysis.
Exactly. Okay, so that is the one of the fundamental of the analysis, which we probably doing in our day-to-day basis task jobs within the IT. So we have to do some kind of a problem analysis while having some kind of a problem ticket. While working on the infrastructure, we do analysis the infrastructure architecture probably. Then if we are expecting some kind of a new business, then we try to analysis that business area, probably the particular business unit we try to analysis. So this is one of the fundamental of the analysis. This is what has been starting of this particular chapter. So at team kickoff meeting lead by Chris, Steve has authorized a small team to deliver the promotion functionally and do whatever it takes to make positive impact on the holiday shopping season. The concern is the deployment process and the way parts. Unlimited is the building the environments. Chris is shocked at the 10 deploy per days request, but Patty thinks the idea is solid. They can deploy bug fixes, performance enhancement. The company could enable marketing to make their own changes to the content or business rules, or enabling faster experiment and the split testing. Development and operation start to generate all these steps needed to deploy a future development examples, automated test development, creating quality assurance environment which matches the development, deploying code, executing test, deploying and migrating to a stage environment, load testing. See, actually, these are the standard processes which we all are aware, which have been followed within the project management area and into the development area also. The way we have got a 5 very hardcore standard phases of the project: initiation, then the planning, the execution, controlling, and the monitoring, and the closing. So these are the 5 elements which we follow normally while working on the project. So this is the way where these people are trying to follow strong process which can be developed and which is easy to operate in terms of the BAU. This is the strong stakeholder management and DevOps methodology have been created to have very good, strong interpersonal relationship with all the development people and the operations people, where we can deliver what exactly customer is looking for it within the budget and within the technology frame. Operations example: preparing new server instances, loading and configuration the operating system database and the applications, making all the changes to the network firewalls and the load balancers. So these are the tasks actually, all of us or few of us probably working on their daily routine, or if they have moved into the management, they might have performed such kind of task in their previous career also. Bill marks each step where IT had problems with the deployment in the past. Almost all steps are marked. Patty creates a value stream map. See, value stream map. I was, this is the one of the catchy word which has fetched my attention. Value stream maps exactly create some kind of, strong set of documentation or strong history base. What the value, which makes very, very useful while delivering to the projects to the customers. So value stream map is absolutely essential. Anyone has idea exactly how and what values we try to deliver by doing or following this kind of whiteboard or probably documentation set off. And anyone has any idea?
Yeah, Prasad, this is Abdul here. So, I mean, thank God, I am the kind of, you can say that I'm the person who can drive the complete value stream mapping. Okay, so you can say that. Okay, I have a little bit hands-on for value stream mapping.
Fantastic.
And yes. So if any help needed over there, I can be of that use. Okay.
Fantastic. I really appreciate Abdul that one. Let me tell you my example. I come across with one of the process gap meeting, and I gave a couple of suggestions, and right after that, the way I gave the suggestion, the global DSP, global IT head, recommended that, why, Prasad, you can't create the process which has been observed within the change management flow. So of course, that can also be treated as a value stream map. So I created some kind of a map which can be workflow kind of things. The moment change is getting raised till it gets closure.
Yeah.
So this is one of the value stream map. Am I right?
नहीं हो गया नहीं कर रहा हूँ
वो अब्दुल बहुत बातें तो बहुत भी अब तो बहुत चला रहा नहीं करता आखिर को अब्दुल समी का ये
Abdul, I think you're. Why can't you go on, please move if you're not speaking, Abdul.
आज शाम में
Abdul. Okay, thanks. Then Patty suggests focusing on environments and coding packages process. Brent proposed creating a common automated script for building dev, QA and prod environment. Of course, this is the everyone knows the importance of the automation script, or probably the script for, if we want to do some kind of testing, if we want to have some kind of daily routine checks, so we all create some kind of automation within the process. New environment for IT. At the end of each sprint, the deployable code and the environment must be checked into the version control. New process for IT. Someone is responsible for package creation and dev handoff, generate and commit package code to trigger an automated deployment into the QA environment. I think one version control, I worked on the couple of version control things, which is the source chef is one of them. Anyone worked on that one, visual source chef?
No, I didn't work, but in Pega we are generally doing this version controlling only.
Yeah.
So whatever we are doing through versioning only.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever code deployment or whatever code changes or development, all these things through versioning only.
Exactly. And then this kind of application has the algorithm to maintain the each data, entire the control, and it maintains the table. We can just download and we can see which version is the latest and what changes have been done.
Yes, we are having 3 types of versioning, like measure, minor, and page.
Fantastic. Yes, this is what I was trying to refer. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Finished project. So this is the summary which I thought that let me try to put some kind of a high level summary. The team identifies the problem that is the highest priority, so they can prioritize their work and then they can try to accommodate within their time span. Deployment process, configuration and building the environment. During the SWAT team kick-off meeting, they break down their own deployment process. Normally, we have some kind of meetings, brainstorming session. So they want to start that kind of processes. Process needs automations. Non-value add activity or waste, which we normally call as a lean practices, where we can think about what is waste, and then we can try to fill the gap between exactly process and the gaps. When work goes backward in manufacturing, result in poor documentation and the information flow. So of course, documentation is the key for any of the project, be it the IT or non-IT projects. So even this is one of the key to have your documentation much proper at all the time. So this is the learnings which I could thought that I should put on the screen to have some kind of a summary. So this is the end of the chapter 31. Anyone is willing to have some kind of a discussion, then I'll be happy to have that.
Yes, Prasad. I think the SWAT, right? Though initially you asked about SWAT. So SWAT is, I think that is software analysis and testing. That is your quality assurance.
Yeah.
The working together. So maybe that is something which is described in this chapter.
Exactly. In
Also
the
next
entire chapter.
Yeah.
So, but one thing which I was reading and with the context of the book where we are with that. So I think SWAT is a special team, right, in the armed forces, which work on the some special processes and these special operations.
Yeah.
And so this particular concept is taken from that from the military. So in IT project
exactly, military area.
Yeah. So this is something used to you can say create or work on some critical piece of the work, a piece of the IT project. So I think this is what SWAT team they refer to in that.
So probably in our IT environment, we can say that the subject matter expert or the architecture level, this is the specialized team who can work on such kind of high level task or the critical stuff.
And maybe the team is itself of highly skillful resources. So the time frames are, I think, very stringent. So we have to deliver something in a very less time frame as compared to the normal production cycles. So the time frame is, I think, it's less when it comes to SWAT team.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Okay, that's pretty much about this chapter. So I'll move on to chapter 32. I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Can I just confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we are on chapter 32 now. So I'll just summarize chapter 32, just high level, and then maybe we can go into it later. So chapter 32 is all about the SWAT team, the project which they're working on, which is separate from the Phoenix project, and they have named it as Unicorn, and now they're working. And this project, they have a very high expectations because their quarter, whatever productivity and whatever revenue they're expecting. So this project, the SWAT project, so they're expecting this will match up everything. And on the other hand, the board is deciding to split the company and sell it off. And Bill is expecting this project, the SWAT project, will work out and which will somehow not stop the board from splitting the company. So that's what about chapter 32. So we'll now go into chapter 32. I'll just brief you about that. So initially this chapter starts with the meeting or the SWAT team meeting where we have Wes, Patty, and Bill. And so start Bill is not happy with like he is a different person and he's not able to understand developers, how developers work. So they are very temperamental and they are like extreme opposites. So at start, Bill kind of explains how he had to manage with developers. And so at the start there was only a SWAT team and there was no project name was not declared. So after that they work on that name and they give it a name. So they were working on a mini Phoenix project and they call it as Unicorn at the end. So developers give this project name as Unicorn. So now the Unicorn becomes their like at most top priority project, and they're expecting this project will win them a lot of customer appreciation, and also whatever issues they had with their revenue and all the revenue going down in the previous quarters. So this is their only chance, the final bet to work on. And so this project, so Bill and team, so basically this project covers how the team, they have decoupled themselves from the Phoenix. So the Phoenix, they were working on like on normal way of working. They had long sprints, they had incomplete sprints, whatever. So the inventory, whatever we learned in the previous chapters, whatever was going outside. So most of the issues were coming back to the team. So the flow was not in one way, as we discussed in last chapters. But this project, which they are working on, the Unicorn, this project is having a very less cycle time, and they're delivering in a very quick time, and which they were not able to do using Phoenix. And that's why Bill and the team, they're looking, very kind of they're expecting a lot of things from this project, and it should work out well. So initially, so Brent, who is the guy who is working on the development, who is the leading the development team, he creates his own production data, his own databases, and now they create their own dev, QA, and production environment for this project. Earlier in the Phoenix, they were not having separate projects, and that was a very difficult task for them to execute. So now, but they have a separate environment totally, dev, QA, and production. So dev is something for the unit test, which I understand from the discussions. So they have a very small environment for dev for doing their basic checks. QA is somewhat similar to production, but a bit on a lower side, and production environment is already there. So they are now having a very good amount of environments in hand, so that they can run whatever they want to do, deployments and all, and they can do testing. So this is something which they have improved over the Phoenix. So initially they had 3 week sprint, and also they have cut down that to 2 week sprints now, just 2 week sprint, and they are moving that into production. And also Brent has come up with setup, virtual machine setup, and who is coming in new to the team, so there's no need to work on like for almost weeks to get the access and get all the applications installed. So Brent has this virtual machine in place, and he has all the installations done, and the developers and who is joining the team, they just need to get that, install that virtual machine, and they are good to go. So they are doing some improvements, working on that. So they are still doing the deployments manually. There's still no automated code deployments happening, but they are working on that, and they're looking very promising. So their progress also seems to be improving exponentially. The planning and executing faster than ever, and the velocity gap between the Unicorn and Phoenix keeps getting larger. So the Phoenix, which was the old project, which they had the old cycles running, Unicorn is their new, with totally new mindset. So there is a lot of gap between Phoenix and how the Unicorn is currently functioning. So now, so everything's going good. They are working on the Unicorn project. Brent is doing well. So suddenly Bill gets a call from Wes, and they're looking for Brent, because Brent is not available since last 2 days. They're trying to reach him, but he's not picking his call. So Wes calls Bill, and he checks with Bill if he's aware if Brent is available, and we've been couple of hours. Did he connect with Brent? But to his surprise, Bill also is not aware. And so when they're talking, Wes receives call from Bill, from Brent. So if you remember from previous chapters, Sarah, she was one of the heads. She was running entirely separate project as compared to Phoenix, and she wanted to outsource most of the work and sell out the IT and get the work done from some other third-party vendors. So these people, Dick and Sarah, they kind of they kind of involve Brent into some work which they are working on, and Brent is suddenly out of this Unicorn project, and he's working with them. So Bill understands that Brent is working on the project, and he's taken off the Unicorn project. So he has a discussion with Brent, and he asks him that your priority is Unicorn, because Unicorn is the only project which they believe that could win them a lot of customer feedback, and also could save them from splitting the company. So Bill wants Brent to come and join back, and he tells Brent that you just come over and start working on Unicorn, and whatever is going with Dick and Sarah on that project, so he will handle that. So later in the chapter, Bill has a meeting with Steve. Steve, who is the CEO, and he discusses with Steve about the urgency they need Brent on this unicorn project. Otherwise, it will be total failure. Uh, Steve tries to convince Bill and asks him whether if he can get other best resource to work on unicorn instead of Brent. But Bill is adamant that he requires Brent, and without Brent they cannot run the unicorn project successfully. And then as it is totally about the stakes of the company and the parts unlimited, so Steve finally agrees that they need Brent, and he will get then he instructs Bill to get back Brent on this project, and whatever is with that other project he will take care of it everything. So this project, basically what I understood is, again, the dependency on one person. If one person is totally taken out of the project, so that becomes very difficult for the entire team to function, and totally it collapses. And also in the middle of the chapter, the writer has mentioned and how when Brent left this project for 2 days, only for 2 days, the other developers who were working on the unicorn project, they were like almost frightened that if Brent will not be back, then totally, like, it was totally dependent on Brent, the project. So they plan to get Brent back to this, and this ends the chapter where Steve tells Bill, you can just ask Brent to join the project back, and he'll take care of everything else. So that ends chapter 32. I think, Mushtaq, if we don't have any questions, we can move with chapter 33.
Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible. So as we have seen in the previous chapter, like Bill has pull out Brent from the other projects, and now as soon as Bill logged into his system, he was just came to know that Brent is back on the unicorn, and one of the level 3 engineers had joined Dick's team somewhere in the snow meets. So within an hour, Bill got one mail from Sarah. So, and in this mail, she mentioned, so I could not mention in my PPT. Yeah, so in this mail, Sarah mentioned to everyone like Steve, Bill Parman, and Dick about Brent and Bill. So she mentioned that, Bob, I have discovered that Bill Palmer, the acting VP of operations, stole the critical resources of Project Talon. So Bill, I'm deeply concerned with your recent action. Please explain us why you ordered Brent to return home. This is absolutely intolerance. So like in this mail, Sarah was just trying to ask certain questions to the Steve and Bill and Steve, and she was just trying to dedicate that why she raised the question why to the VP and IT operations of the company, which is not acceptable. So as soon as Bill got this mail, he directly called to the Steve, and Steve has given assurance to Bill that you can continue as per the plan, and I will handle the Sarah. And so during this after this discussion, daily unicorn stand-up meeting was started, and Bill and his team came to know the good news about the last night. So we have generated, and in the good news was that team have generated the first customer promotion reports, and it appears to be working correctly, but the code is running too much slower than expected. So one of the clustering algorithm is not parallelizing and like we thought it would. So the predictions run are already taking more than 24 hours. So even for a small customer data sets, sorry. So during this discussion, one of the developers suggested, why don't we add more servers to the system, which immediately rejected by Wes, that if we will add more resources or more hardware and servers and into the projects, we will end up with over budgeting, and which will cost our over 1 billion unbudgeted capitals. So during the discussion, developer replies that why don't we send out to the cloud, because we can spin up hundreds or thousands of computer instances as we need them, and tear them down when we have done, and just pay for the compute times we just use. So here is developer is just trying to explain the cost of moving from I mean actual servers to the cloud system. So Brand, his team, decided, I mean team have decided to just to have a prototype to move, if what will happen if we will move our system to the cloud. So Brent and his team started building prototype, and in this prototype, Maggie volunteers to look into the pricing and will call her peers to look into this, is if anyone have used this cloud system before that. And during this discussion, John, who is a security engineer, interrupted, and he raised one question that sending our customer data to the cloud may have some risk, like accidental disclosure of private data or someone unauthorized hacking into those computer servers, which Bill Gates, I mean, Bill suggest to, Bill suggest to John to find out that and prepare a list of potential countermeasures and to control if anything happen during the cloud environment. So week later, once again, it's a demo time, and during this demo time, Bill was saying that hardly believe how much we got done, and he was started off. So because of all the deployment automation, getting computer instance running on the cloud wasn't too much easier. Like it wasn't hard as we thought. So in fact, that it's working so well that we are considering turning all the in-house Unicom production systems into the test environment and using the cloud for all our production systems. So during this discussion, Maggie pulls up one PowerPoint, and she was just trying to showcase something on a projector. And during this, Maggie said that these are the unicorn promotion generated for my customer's account. So as you can see that she was just trying to explain one of the PPT, and she was just trying to explain the benefits of unicorn and moving to the cloud. So here she's just trying to explain that what you can see is it's look like at my buying history, and it's letting me know that snow tires and batteries are 15% off. So she actually went to the website and purchased both of these because she need both of them. So just because of purchasing both the items at the same time, company made and money. So because of those all items that we have excess inventory and high profit margins. So she just trying to continue with her PPT, and she suggested that why don't we do email campaigning to 1% of our customers. So out of these 100% customers, she suggested to why don't we put or send one email campaigning notification to the customers to see what happens. And Thanksgiving is in a 1 week. If we could do a couple of trials and everything goes well, we did go full blast on Black Friday, so which is the busiest shopping day of the year. So she just suggested all these things, and later on mm, sorry, yeah. So following Monday, after 1 week, or maybe I don't remember the timing exactly, but uh, as soon as Bill log into the system, or as soon as Bill entered into the office, he met with the Patty, and Patty was just explaining something. And as soon as she was saying that, did you get any amazing news from the marketing? So he was not aware about. So he just opened his laptop, and he got one mail from Maggie. So Maggie explained that marketing burns all the midnight oil over the weekend, and we were able to do a test campaign on 1% customers. So the results were stellar. So over 20% of the respondents went to the customers, and out of this, 6% customers purchased the item, which is highly incredible conversion rates. So probably around 5 into higher than any campaign we have done before. So Maggie is just explaining the previous campaigning with the existing campaign compare. comparison. So she was just recommending to doing a unicorn promotion to all the customers on a Thanksgiving day. And during this mail conversion, she raised one point that if we will raise this campaign for all the customers, then due to the high margin and high traffic on a website, it may impact to the website overall performance. So Bill was just suggesting to the Patty that you just work with the ways to figure out what we can do and what we need to, how can we handle this sudden surge in the traffic. So she was just happily say yes to, and she was just trying to explain, she accepted this request from the Bill to look out the website traffic issue. So as soon as Bill end up this discussion with Patty, he just entered into the meeting room, and they were discussing about the SOX 404 and unicorn security issues. So during the discussion, he says that Bill says that compared to the rest of the Phoenix projects, fixing unicorn securities issues is a breeze. The cycle time is so short that we once put fix within an hour, which was earlier taking was a day or two or maybe more than that. So he was just explaining the success of unicorn projects, and with this Phoenix he was explaining that we were only rehearse and practice doing the deployments once per quarter. So just but here in the unicorn, we were able to do it last 5 weeks. We have done over 20 unicorn code deployment to the production environment. So he was explaining how this is possible. So he explained that we put in regular checks to make sure that developers who have daily access to the productions only have a read-only access, rather than making any code changes or any security changes into the production environment. So this was Bill was just trying to explain all this stuff. But the notion of having keep up with the 10 deployments in a day, which Bill was discussing during the one of the chapter, we have seen that his senior was suggested to do the 10 deployments in a day, which Bill was unable to believe. So he's just trying to bring this topic over here, and he just continues and completely lunacy. But after being forced to automate our security testings, integrating into the same process that PMs use for his automated QA testings. So we are testing so here Bill is saying that they are testing every time a developer commits or putting any codes into the production environment or any seat environment or pre-prod environment. So in many ways, we now have a better visibility and code coverage than any of the other applications in the company. So here Bill is just trying to explain the success story of unicorn, and he's just congratulating everyone. So but with these discussions, Bill says that we had a genuine one showstoppers in a QA environment, which was unable to discover that we were what happened. But Bill explained that here the interesting thing of they found that developer developed a fix within a day, and it was deployed to the production environment within an hour, which was not possible during the Phoenix or any other projects during the Parts Unlimited company. So after this whole hectic day with other team members, and after 3 meetings, whether it's Sarah's mail chains or it's a Maggie's mail chains and meeting with the SOX 404, Bill wind up his day, and he's just packed up his stuff to have a long weekend for the enjoyment, I think. So this end up with the chapter 33. So in this chapter, I think what I learned that the success story between the Unicorn and Phoenix, where few stuffs were not aligned with the process in Phoenix, whereas in Unicorn, everyone, every things or every process was aligned step by steps, and during the automation or maybe the cloud acceptance by the developers, and moving certain things to the cloud, which brings down the system slowness, and which improve the system performance. So I think the personally, if I think the team who have adopted this new approach for moving from so-called traditional approach to the cloud, or maybe the code changes or controlling mechanism, security controlling mechanism is important in any of the any projects. I mean, success of any projects. So that's end with the chapter 33. Any questions or any points we can discuss?
No, I guess I think that was very well said. So if the
Nothing in
projects are organized, then we definitely will have good deployments, and they see less failures, in short. And that's how the Unicorn was well organized as compared to Phoenix. That's why it was working out for them.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're done with chapter 33. So we have 2 chapters to go, 34, 35. So as no one volunteered, so I just had a quick read, and I'll just try to summarize my understanding, and then we should be done with the book. I'll just share my screen. Can you just confirm?
Yes.
Okay, so chapter 34. So basically, so we have learned about Unix project in the previous chapters. So Unix was kind of a success, the last final bet to get their quarterly revenues get corrected, and also to save them from selling the company. So that was their final bet for the Parts Unlimited. So that project works out for them. So chapter 34 basically summarizes on high level summary. If I have to present this chapter, it's like so they are now live with their application, and they're getting very good response, and record breaking response which they never had seen in the previous releases. So they are doing very well, but then they ran into one issue, and then how they cope up with that is about the chapter 34. So I've just read it once, so I'll just try to read it through it once again, and maybe try to present my understanding. So it's midday, and right in the middle of Thanksgiving. So they are in trouble because the overnight Unicorn email promotion it was success. The response rate was unprecedentedly high, with traffic to a website surging to record levels, which kept bringing down our e-commerce systems. So due to the Unicorn email promotion email which went last night, so there was a lot of response, and their website, a lot of traffic on their website, and which kept bringing down their e-commerce systems. Then they initiated a service level service one call, putting all sorts of emergency measures to maintain the ability to take orders, including putting more servers into rotation. So they try to do all their stuff which we can get, because they were in one issue, and they were trying to sort that out, and they tried to do everything which they can do, putting all the servers and then rotating that, and trying to check, because the traffic was more. So one of the developers on the team suggested that turning off all the real-time recommendations which was there on the website, which we had worked so hard to build, why I recommend more products to buy. So as per this developer, why we need to recommend more products to the customers. Customers can even complete a transaction. So if they are not able to complete a single transaction on the website by booking something or ordering something, why we need to give them a list of new or recommended products. So he suggests that we can just pull that off from the website, and maybe that would increase the bandwidth and make the website lighter, and so the customers can have a better transaction cycle. So developers agree to that, and so as also one more difference with the Phoenix project. So Phoenix was something, if they had an issue, they had to totally roll back that from the release, and it should take time to get that fix into production. But with this new configuration setting, within minutes they were able to get the next round. And instead of doing a full code rollout within minutes, it was just a configuration change, and they were able to complete that, whatever issue was there in the production. So that was the major kind of relief from the Phoenix with this project. This project allowed them to get things moving in a faster pace. So that's how designing for IT operations should be. So Bill is like proud of what they have achieved, because it should be getting easier, and it's definitely getting easier for them to manage code in production. Also, they have optimized database queries and moved them to the larger site graphics and to a third-party content distribution network. That's how offloading more traffic from the servers. So they have also outsourced some of that work which they have done to third-party vendors. That's how they have reduced the workload on their servers. By the late Thanksgiving afternoon, the customer experience had improved to something tolerable. So whatever issue they had, which was very to scale of worst, which got to somewhat improved, and it was tolerable, and the customers were able to hit their website and order stuff. Now the real trouble began the next morning, the following morning of Thanksgiving. Although it is an official company holiday, it was a holiday, but still Bill has everyone has everyone working on that day, because they ran into one issue. And the issue is like, so as soon as, so the Black Friday, where they have this, after the Thanksgiving they have this Black Friday, and they in US it usually happens that they order a lot of stuff. So as soon as the moment they open the doors, people poured in, waving around printouts of their unicorn promotion emails. So it was like unexpected response, and there was a lot of traffic. And in store, traffic today is at record levels. They never expected that, but the traffic was too much. The problem was that the promoted items were not now completely gone. So whatever they had promoted with the email, whatever they had on the email, so everything was almost gone. And the store managers were like panicking, because customers were leaving angry and empty-handed. So this was like offline purchase basically, and customers and store managers they're trying to do some adjustments and get the orders directly from warehouse, but it was taking at least 15 minutes for them per order, which was resulting in long lines at the stores and more frustrated customers. So they ran into this issue. So when they were going through this issue, Sarah, who was already against the project, she dials in, and now when she calls Maggie, everyone on the call and everyone who were around, they now knew that, okay, Sarah now has got a very good chance to undermine the efforts they have put, and also raise a finger at Unicorn. But so they are into the middle of issue, so they asked Sarah to hold on for some time, and they discuss how to get out of this, and they try to get the fix by attaching new like promotion codes on the website, and then will automate the cross shipment for warehouse. Then also they decided to create a new form on the customer account web page, where they can get items delivered directly to them instead of, so they now discuss about their new additions which they need to do on the website, instead of the customers waiting for getting the promotions applied and getting the shipments, so that they decide to directly add these fields on the website itself. And so this discussion happens. So now after this, once they are over this issue, they are into a meeting where Sarah also joins them. And so here Sarah raises one concern that one of the competitors who working like one of the competitors of Parts Unlimited, so they are able to achieve something which this Parts Unlimited was not able to do. And he suggests Steve that they should also come up with that solution with something which, I'll just get to that. It was Yeah. So their major retail competitors started partnering with their manufacturers to allow custom build to order kits. So they are able to achieve something, the build to order kits, which this Parts Unlimited were not able to do since long time. And due to this, due to the new, this new product which the competitor has launched, the sales of Parts Unlimited has already come down by 20%. So sales of the some of our top selling items are already down by 20%. So Sarah now suggests them to know they also should work on this, and he asks Bill if they can get that done. So Wes comes up with and talks to Bill that whatever she's suggesting, that is not possible, because that will take a lot of time, and it will take somewhere around 18 months for them to complete whatever the competitor have achieved. So now they are discussing on that, and so basically they want 6 months to gather requirements, another 9 months to develop the test, and if you're lucky, we might be able to put it into production 1 year from now. So the problem is that resources we need, also the resources they want on this project, whatever Sarah is suggesting, that they're not available till June. So basically they're talking about 18 months, and also they need $50K for the feasibility study and to secure a slot in the development schedule. So something which is not working out, which Sarah has proposed, and something to build as the competitor has done, is something not possible. So Bill suggests that they had built an MRP application previously, and which they had outsourced. So Bill suggests that we can get the MRP application back on track, and then that may help them to get this ordering and whatever customer issues they have. So now they discuss about this MRP application, which already they have developed long back, and they had outsourced that. So Bill suggests that we can get that back, and it will take less amount of time to get that up and working. So this chapter basically describes about this issue where they had a good deployment of the unicorn. They were going good, but suddenly, due to the lot of users and lot of consumers logged in their website and started placing orders both online and offline, so they ran into this issue where when they never expected that they'll get a good response, but then due to the response, so they ran out of this issues, and now they have to move to a new application, MRP application, which they already outsourced, and now they are planning to get that back. And Steve is also agreeing that they should get this MRP application. So that ends chapter 34. So going to chapter 35. So chapter 35 is a bit light-hearted, because after this unicorn success, and so Steve decides to throw a party, and he wanted to celebrate. So all the people who were working hard on the Phoenix and the unicorn, so he invited everyone, and he's having a party at his house. So Bill is on this party. He's going to Steve's house, visiting Steve's house, and while driving, he's thinking he's relaxed now because everything has gone, whatever was all the issues and all, everything seems to be normal. And he's thinking while driving that he's expecting a call, that someone should call and say that it's a save an incident, but to his surprise, that's not happening, and he's like kind of not believing that, because everything has worked out well. And and also what as per Bill's expression, that he's missing that issues which they used to work on, all the several incidents. So he's missing the excitement, but and now is the time where he has nothing to do, literally. So now he's basically doing coaching all the new managers. So that's how Bill is working on now. So Bill now also they are on the new project, that is Project Narwhal. So now they're running two projects. One is Project Unicorn and second is Project Narwhal. These two projects they're working on currently. So Bill goes to Steve's house for the party, and there Steve. So I'll just go on a very high level. So they are discussing about the next promotions because Dick is going to retire soon, and Steve suggests that if he asks Bill basically if he knows of someone who can be of a good candidate for the CIO position, and later he kind of tells Bill that everyone on the team wants Bill to be the next CIO. So Steve proposes Bill that he can work for 2-3 years down the line, and then after 2-3 years he can undergo the training. He can be the next CIO, and after 3-4 years he can be the next COO, the Chief Operating Officer. So that is something which Steve proposes Bill to take up the new opportunity of a COO after 3 years, and then he also asks Bill whom he wants to be the next head of the IT operations, and Bill is already very impressed by how Patty has been working. So Bill tells that maybe Patty can after 3 years Patty can leave the IT operations and can be the head of the IT operations, which is the current post for Bill. And they're discussing, but Bill is not sure about how he's going to take this opportunity. So he's getting a promotion, the chief operating officer, but he's not sure how he'll make up to that. So Eric is who has been the guiding light for Bill. So Eric also turns up for the party, and Eric gives him some advice how he can come up with this and how he can make this opportunity work out. So the discussion between Eric and Bill on how Eric wants Bill to take up this opportunity and should not fall short of, because Eric has a lot of expectations from Bill. The chapter ends here where everyone is congratulating Bill on the new promotion of the COO, which he'll be getting 3 years down the line, and he'll be now working on with Dick for 2-3 years to be the CIO, and then eventually after 3 years he'll be the COO of the company. So they are now enjoying the party and they are congratulating Bill for the new promotion and the new responsibility he's going to get. And at the end of the chapter, the climax of this chapter is something like still open to me, because when I read this, because when at the end of the chapter, Bill gets a call from Patty and is like, Bill is, and the end of, so Bill is like expecting that it's a good news. So Patty tells him that, do you want to listen to the good news or a bad news? So Bill responds, what we have got, Patty. So Bill is still again getting the same, like he's on the same kind of mode where he's expecting issues to be coming in. So this book for me is still open because they're not concluded, and what happened, what Patty told Bill, that is something which is not covered. So that is something that's left open for us to think of what might have happened maybe. So that is a never ending process. So issues might come in, and again Bill has to look into the new issues and new challenges. So that's how the chapter 35 ends, and this book also ends. So we don't have anything after this. So yeah, so chapter 35, that was where Bill gets the promotion of COO, and then he's kind of deserving that position because he has worked a lot for the Phoenix, and he kind of worked on reshaping everything, getting the unicorn, working on that, and he kind of deserved this. But then still not sure what's happening next in Bill's life, because the phone call, the climax of this book was something which I liked, because the author has kept this book open still. Not sure if the part 2 is coming, but yeah, that's how ends the book, Phoenix Project.
Good.
I think
Congratulations
that's
on
great.
finishing.
That's great. That's great. Great stuff. I think you put huge efforts because you volunteered the overall things, okay, since long time, and you really did a fantastic job so far. Thank you very much for your support.
Everyone worked. Yeah.
Oh, me? I think I did nothing.
No,
Nothing than just
every contribution
kind of
was there, but
team
everyone's contribution was yes. But I think in terms of the overall volunteership, I think yes, Sarfaz did a great job.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think definitely a fantastic job from each and everyone. I think getting to the end of first book is a really good milestone. So congratulations to the entire team.
Good. Thank you all.
Maybe we are slowly getting into the habit of maybe building it. And maybe just part two of this book. I don't know. I am sure that many of us might have already read it.
So
But if
part two is there?
most of-